Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking, Bzege. This is flight TM007, runway critical thinking, and fasten your seatbelt, put your seats upright, close your overhead storage as we are preparing for takeoff to this journey of independent thinking. I have Mhauza, our co-pilot. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And today we are on TM007, which is Black Homeowners Awareness and Participation in Body Corporates. Quite an interesting one. What do you think, my brother? Or how do you feel about this one?
I mean, these are the kind of topics that you won't find them being discussed in a way that we are planning to discuss them, and in these platforms. So part of what we are looking at is also the underrepresentation of blacks. I mean, we know what we are a majority, and you know what, in most cases in these gated communities and suburban spaces, you might find in a complex there are more black people than whites, but if you go to their board of trustees, you find more
white dominance in management.
Then you would find us there. So we want to be discussing that, trying to see if we can pinpoint the reasons for that. Yeah, that's basically.
So would you agree with me if I say, as black people, middle class, progressing, we are so far behind it. So we are so far behind not to be united.
Yeah, unity lacks big time. I mean, not only in association with the topic we are going to discuss today. Generally.
So
yeah, I think, look, we need to have unity amongst black people. We need to have a destination about that. Unity amongst
unity amongst blacks.
From household,
yes,
all the way to corporate.
Yeah.
Which, I think it's a nice take. You mean unity amongst blacks. We'll add it on our basket.
Okay. All right. So today on TM007, we are going to unpack our views on black owners, homeowners. Yeah, black homeowners. As a rising race into the property space, the awareness and their participation in body corporates, we've actually realized that the participation of black homeowners in that space is very minimum. So we want to share these views with you. Would you like to go first, or should I just start, my brother?
My interest, is just to provide a context.
Yeah.
What is body corporate?
Intro is the definition of body corporate.
What is body corporate? I mean, I will use the most simplistic explanation I have in my head. Yeah. A body corporate, in actual fact, for you to have it in a sectional title scheme.
Yes.
So you will have a gated community which has residential dwellings. In some cases it will be townhouse setup. Typically it will the townhouse setup. Manje you'll find also a freestanding house.
Yeah, clustered in one
flat. So it would be a mixed type of use, residential. And then in that you are then according to STSMA, which is Sectional Title Scheme Management Act, you need to abide to certain methods and guidelines to be organized to manage. I mean, it's there for simple reason, so that there is common areas that are dealt with, garden, lights, which are street lights amongst the areas.
And overall maintenance, basically.
Yeah, overall maintenance. So you need to have people that will be appointed as a trustee with a chairperson. That will then, not in most cases, these people are volunteer, by the way. It's volunteering work. So they are not paid to do this. and then they will have their special meetings or just scheduled meetings, and they'll have AGM where there's appointments of these responsible person, which is trustees, right? And there's we'll get into them other nuances, which is other aspects, but it's just administrative function.
Yes.
For a body, for the trustees as a board of trustees.
Yes.
Yeah. Then they will handle. There will be 5, 6, 7, or 8 or 10, and then they will handle affairs of other homeowners within that. Let's call it complex, for the better word. So they will handle their affairs in that. So that's what we are dealing with. There is very little blacks, if not underrepresentation of blacks proportionally to our population, that we are not fully represented there. And there are reasons for that, which is what we want to touch on.
Yes.
And there are opportunities lost for us not to participate in that space, as tough as it is.
Yes, I just to add on what you were saying on the trustees, there is, in addition to that structure part, there is a managing agent, in addition to the trustees, which deals with the legal issues of that financial management in that space.
As well. Management agent.
Management agent. So if
it's a company that will be appointed by the trustee.
Yes, of course. So what bothers me the most is that with all that, the trustees, the management agent, you cannot have all of that managed by a minority of the people.
To be more specific, by one race in particular.
One race.
If they are a minority and they dominate.
And they dominate that space. And now, I was actually thinking about this discussion this morning. Uguti, it's not okay, or it's not good that the non-whites are progressing and the growth into the middle class contribution, they have a great impact. The GDP is growing because of the middle class growth of blacks, but the growth on spaces like this is very minimal. So it doesn't make sense. There is a reflective growth of blacks in terms of middle class. The growth is very big, and they have access to finance now, right? So how can you have this growth in this race and not have? So the growth there is not in line with the policies.
Not inversely proportional.
No, it's not.
That's a good question, Guti. How come? How I've structured my discussion is that there's historic aspects that we need to look into that are a reason for the underrepresentation or the lack of participation thereof.
Of course.
And then there's also unwillingness to engage into communal setup. We'll discuss why blacks are unwilling. Right? And then there's insufficient maybe governance knowledge.
What do you mean by that?
Lacking insight on how governments, in particular in that spaces,
operate. I see.
Now CISOs, STSMA, things that you must watch. There are legal issues, and and that plays in a contestation intense in terms of conflicting decisions. And sometimes you think you cannot just do as you emotionally feel. There are procedures that you need to follow to make certain things happen, and there's a lot of engagement that you need to get into. Communication skills are needed, so it's a space of demanding. So 3 aspects: history, the unwillingness aspect, and the knowledge, which is of governance for sectional title scheme related issues. That's basically, those are the 3 aspects. I'm not sure which I can just continue. There's other general issues you wanted to take maybe before we get to the
you've mentioned very important points, so I will try and focus on the legacy issues, the security concerns, the economic impact, and in summary, I'm going to pay more attention to the challenges in South Africa in body corporate management and the power imbalance as well.
Yeah.
Yes, that's how I'm going to.
That's nice, because we are going to. There are complementary aspects to what I've packaged and what you've packaged.
Okay.
So what I will then do is to then align or highlight these three factors.
Apologies.
Yeah, these three factors that I spoke about. Ne? And I want to touch on them. They will also amplify or also usher in your take on the subject. I see you've touched on the most important thing. Let's see how we
roll with it.
Yeah. Okay, let me start with the historic disadvantages, or factors rather. That factors that really make us black people to have underrepresentation in that space, of board of trustees spaces, that maybe we don't want to be even volunteer, or we don't want to be appointed. There's few of us there, not say there's zero.
Very few.
Yeah. So the historic part, let's talk 1800 to 1940s maybe, where there was issues, or there was a discovery of gold and diamonds. Kimberley being the one in Johannesburg around Kimberley 1867, Joburg 1886 issues, which there was an issue of cheap labor, right? So meaning blacks were enticed to come into these urban spaces or next to these establishments. Yeah, so flocking.
Which had bigger job opportunities, I guess.
Yeah. Economically, but at a cheaper and discriminatory sort of aspects.
Which was meant to benefit the managers or owners instead of benefiting the employees as well.
Yes. So generally, the middle class that we have today, they are descendants of Bantustans, dwellers, let me put it that way.
Yes.
So Bantustan stands, it meaning people that lived and that were segregated under the 1913 Land Act. Remember?
Yes.
So when people were moving, coming this side, there were chiefs that were responsible, and there was that terminology Bantu. That's why I'm using the old terminology.
Yes.
And the act prevented us from ownership. So you would move from your rural coming here. There was no type of ownership of some sort. Because I'm a hostel.
Yes.
And then government
confined spaces.
And then fast forward to apartheid, 1950s to 1980s. That's urbanization. So the urban part is growing. The townships are mushrooming now. I think Orlando, Cape Town were the first in the lot. And then however, there was not only Soweto, there was Mdantsane, the first Kasi, Eastern Cape, Mlazi, Durban, Mlazi's township in Durban. But by and large, aligned to our topic, Soweto was the key central point of what we are trying to say, which is suburb versus migration from rural to suburb to grow the middle class. So then came democracy. 1991, 94 onwards.
The release of Mandela.
Yeah, then that end of apartheid then really legitimized the middle class growth, right? Because there were then the affirmative action. There was then the BEE, before you might call BEE.
Yeah.
So there was a move, mostly, the move from townships to suburbs started then. Post 1994. So some
and we were operating on new policies.
There was a first wave. The people that moved from Dube, complete Dube, had our elite.
Yes, like so Dube, Tikloof,
the people they moved into the suburbs. Abanye moved into the CPD or periphery of CPD suburb. Yeoville, Pointer.
Yeah, those places used to be in order.
Mamela's cool.
And have you seen how they look now?
Let's not go there. It's a topic for another day.
It's a topic for actually, yes.
urban decay. So just put it as urban decay. It's an architectural term.
Yeah, urban decay.
Decay. Yeah, how it decayed.
We need to unpack this and have this discussion. It's going to be very, very proper and interesting.
Yes. So as those areas, suburbanization was growing, then blacks were introduced to sectional title schemes, which is what we explained earlier on. Now they must come and administer for their own affairs from a communal aspect. Yeah, right. So that's the historical part.
Okay.
Now let's get to the unwillingness to engage, right, or to volunteer, right? Abotaki, why we so maybe reluctant to participate. Another thing is that most middle class people are professionals. Let's say professionals,
meaning majority of middle class is graduates.
Yeah. So if there are people with qualifications and working for big corporates.
Yes.
Or reputable corporates.
Corporates, yeah.
So we know by and large, if you are in the corporate space, you are pretty much into the modern slave.
Yeah, which is painted as a green grass.
Or to be more modest, is like there's work pressures there. That's not slave. Let's not say slave. Maybe it might sound incorrect.
But it is. It is.
We can argue it.
Yeah, but nonetheless.
So there's work demands, which is high pressure in the corporate environment. That's given, right? So meaning my accountant, a KPMG, or Deloitte, or you are in executive management in MTN or Vodacom, or even if you're in the public sector, say you're a chief director or director upwards, you are into that space. You work with high volumes of documentation. You must read a lot, you must respond to a lot.
So most of your time is not your time.
Yeah, you're absorbed at work.
Yeah.
So much so that by the time you get home, you don't have enough energy to look into other avenues.
There's no time.
But to reserve whatever that's left for your family. Because middle class now, they want to drive this family thing. That's another thing. It's tough, that space.
That space is very challenging.
The formal or marriage set up for
on its own, it's on its own. It's
another topic.
It's another topic for another day.
It's an interesting one. With how are we coping in this
marriage? Just right, marriage. We'll remember which we'll have to come up with an interesting topic related to that.
So then it becomes a problem to volunteer your time
because it's not there. It's not there.
You know why I say it becomes a problem? Because if you can look, for those that have an advantage to be next to or into a sectional title scheme to know what's happening there, make your own research. People who are there, are they working or working for themselves? Abanye abaretire ingamlas need tendency of idle, but they can manage their lives. But they're not waking up to no one.
No, Amiti, you know what I've realized, I've tried to understand how they operate. I call it handover capital.
It's a long man.
Yeah, it's old money. So they have that advantage over us, which they have old money that allows them not to have
not to
so
be
many
in a red race.
Yeah, not to be in a red race. They do everything they do is steady.
Yeah.
And when you are in competition, or when you are in a challenge, or in a fight or a war with someone like that, you are already disadvantaged. Because if you challenge someone, Hausa, who is more relaxed in their life, they're not worried about input or output. They're not worried. Their worry is, I must win this battle with this man.
Yeah.
That's their only focus.
I must dominate you.
I must dominate you, and when you still have to deal with your service delivery at work, you still have to deal with your family, you still have to deal with your wife, your kids, and then in addition to that,
and just the adjustment into this new thriving space of economy as a black person.
So
and then you've got families that are still left maybe in the rural or Ekasi that are still battling, and they try to make it above that means or become the middle class that is affluent, or you still have to worry about that.
You still have to worry about so many things. Hence I was saying earlier, we are so far behind not to be united in every space. So I'm hoping Uguti, our effort to create awareness will have an impact on you as our viewer.
Yeah.
And anyway,
yeah. So that's basically that part of Uguti. It's by default that we are not able to participate.
Yeah, no.
So you have to choose your battles.
You have to choose your battles.
Here's what's tough, which is my next point, third point. The lack of knowledge into the sectional title scheme, right? When you enter into that space, let's say you become a trustee, not even a chairperson. Where's when you become a chairperson? So here's the situation. Maqale remote gate ingasebenzi for those communities that have no securities, no security guards. Gate a remote is uvuka wena mele check remote. Maybe they show their suppliers that will come and fix the gate.
And it must be on immediate effect.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah,
so your response time must be on point.
You can't have other commitments.
That's just general administration. Apart from knowing the legalities that comes with it, some people homeowners complain a lot. They're not satisfied with this. They want to sometimes organize meetings to get rid of the trustees. The trustees must either fight to stay, and then comes the part things that you need to be aware of. There's this, then the sectional title scheme management act. There's acts that you need to know. If the school governing bodies, how they are regulated, it's highly regulated space. So you can't do as you wish. So you need to know the rules to play the game. And then the CISOs, which is the ombudsman, community scheme ombud services. So they are regulated again. But which is this space, it's intense in terms of contestations of ideas in our that NH. There's even an ombudsman. Yeah, for dispute aspect, specifically for that.
You know, when you mention that the spaces, high regulated spaces, are always because of the capital circulation that is involved in that space.
Yes, over and above the issues that you must deal with as a trustee. I'm a suppliers. I'm a contract.
Yeah.
There's money. So here's the thing about dealing with suppliers and contractors in general. You can go anywhere in this world. It's a very seductive space. Those who know. Let me just whisper to those who don't know. If you don't know, when you deal with suppliers treat you like a hot chicken in Konka. I like making an example in a Konka shop.
Yeah.
Like a hot chicken Konka, you won't buy your own drinks. You'll be wined and dined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marinated.
Marinate our suppliers, and our suppliers have mastered the art of marination, of marinating.
Yeah, they know how to create interest.
Let me make an example. I'm an estate agent. Let's look at Trafalgar, those that know Trafalgars. How do you think they stay within a particular complex for as long as they are staying forever? When you arrived into the space, Trafalgar is an example was there. You left, you went somewhere else, you find them somewhere else.
You came back and you
still there.
They're still there.
How they do it, in my perspective, is that they make sure that they anchor their existence with the chairperson. So that's why you find that chairperson by rotate. So Umarki and Lopit. Mopiti ngoba chairperson my AGM says hotel Umarki. Ngobuya mbe chairperson ube just a normal trustee. But all that we are managing there, it's our interest as cultural affiliation as whites. As whites, we've got a cultural and perspective, and opinion and and perception about blacks and what needs to happen.
You know, sorry to cut you off. To add on what you're saying, when it's done by whites, it's called empowerment. When it's done by blacks, then it's nepotism.
There is that element. So look, there's bias aspect when a particular group is dominating other groups, where there's multiracial aspect.
Yeah.
Where you will find that there's a melting pot of all races. Once you have only black people, they will be biased to their own beliefs, systems, and preferences, right? They will tend to bring maybe their own black suppliers. Similarly, when whites are there, they will do the same.
They will do the same.
Even if you could put colors or Indians by themselves, they will do the same.
Human nature.
Human nature.
It's human nature.
But the more you get to know the game or the rules of the game, you can be able, because it's a that's why politics in Zulu is called ezombangazwe. So
yeah.
there's that contestation.
Yes.
And endless contestation. So if you don't know the rules of the game, you won't have the right attitude and aptitude to fight these battles. These battles are war field. So you just don't say things and they fly. So you must just be able to use the legalities right to really get things to happen in an ideal way. So that's the issue about the knowledge of sectional title scheme, the legalities around it, the stakeholder management, and the engagement of everyone that's involved, from Maspar to the agent, which is the management agent that deals with financial issues. And but financial is income statement. So many was about finances. So income statement, what does it mean? They can give you a thick document, you can't even make sense of it. You know? Yeah. So and also there's transactions that are done with the municipalities to electricity. There's taking stock of the consumption of water, the consumption of electricity, aligning it to the rates that change every year in Amaspana, updating that, talking to the homeowners now and then and tell them that it cost per litre is no longer 65 cents, it's now 85 cents. How is that impacting the complex? So there's a lot.
There's a lot. You know, as you are speaking now, I'm listening and I'm thinking, Guti, these racial dynamics actually have, it's a snowball effect post democracy.
Yeah.
The post apartheid development was just there to fool us and paint a picture that gives us just a view, not the reality of the situation. I'll tell you why I'm saying this. Certain trends have remained the same in terms of property development and management. Hence, the body corporate space is still like that. So the policies that were injected or implemented in that space of property management and development was not emphasized to suit the disadvantaged. They did not make extra efforts to bring together policies of transformation in the property space. Hence, you still have, the dominant companies in any property. You should know that. But I mean, you deal with the architecture, and I'm sure you know, Guti, the property management space is still dominated even today by the whites.
Yeah.
So there is
by our fellow whites.
Yeah. So in the historical context, my conclusion is there was no extra effort that was made post democracy to try and balance the power.
I want to see how you would provide interventions to what you are saying. The same discussion that we're having now. Black people are coming into sectional title schemes because they can now afford, they can move to suburban areas.
Access to power and to money.
As they come in, they find what's white people who've been doing this for ages and ages. Yeah? What would be the intervention to integrate them, you think?
Firstly, I think it is a responsibility of us as individuals to create interest in that space with people who are already dominant in the space. I think that would be a point of departure. We cannot rely on policies from the government to sort that problem for us.
Okay.
You know, they're already having lots of failures and responsibilities on their side. Anyway, that's a topic for another day. Point of departure for me is we need to create interest to people who are in that space.
But it's difficult, you know why? I hear what you say. It's like befriending those that are already in power and expect them to usher you in and be kind, and candid, and accommodative. They are not like that, in my experience.
No, they are not like
all
that.
Of them, by the way.
Not all of them, yeah.
Yeah, some people are willing to share knowledge, information, because they have institutional memory. And for many years, let me make it to support my thinking or my point.
Yeah.
When we went to tertiary, these people forget about the academic interest they have, the level of interest and participation levels. Let's say it's a volume. Forget about that they had above us from township, in comparison with people that come from model C schools, and west, those that come from rural areas. The last shire,
they were ahead already.
But I was on team. Simple example, filing. Forget about everything else in the academic space. Filing, that you have a proper file that will tell you what these are.
Organized.
Yeah, question papers.
Yeah. Organized filing.
Yeah, a guide, a timetable, right, and other stickers. And you take one file is organized. It took me almost 2-3 years to have an organized file, but it was not ultimately organized to the latter, you know. But I realized we have not yet entered the computer room to press the computer and navigate ourselves with computer. Those that don't know, especially those that come from rural areas, coming in contact with computer for the first time in your studio room with tertiary, it's a nightmare. you can reflect back when you were dealing with COBOL and doing our C++ at
that time,
and doing these things parallel with white kids. They were already somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, even still now in different spaces in the then administrative and dealing with these legalities. You find yourself having to pull yourself and do more than they are doing. So if they have to take 2 steps to get to something, where now you must take multiple steps or make major strengths.
You must make miracles.
Yeah. So that's why I need to pulling yourself is tough, considering that you come from an environment that demands much of your involvement.
Yeah. Okay. The reason I said what I said, I'm a true believer that before you go to war, you start with peace. You offer peace.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so the strategy, you don't just jump into war and not exhaust that space of negotiation and modesty and all of that.
Yes.
So if you start with modesty, therefore, it puts you in a better position when you have to take your case to the creation of policies. Maybe if you need government's involvement or assistance in the matter. Because if you don't do that, they will tell you, what have you done before we can help you? What have you done?
It's cool. I'm sorry. I want you to reflect back where it's just in an environment where you were to work with white folks, Indians and other races. Mighty, it's tough for black people to open up for the new
same black.
To black
to black.
We are a manager, you must then, or same level, you are all administrators, and there are new people in your space or in your office that you need to lead or assist them with knowing you know, the ropes and how to go around things.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult thing for people, human beings to do. So you can imagine if you don't belong to their race, it becomes 10 times.
10 times more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to say, not everyone, but most, just human beings, not necessarily white folks, they are not easily giving or...
Yeah, to share power is a problem.
It's a problem. Sharing information, forget about power. And people want to hold, people want to keep things to themselves.
They want to hold on to knowledge and power, which in my view, it's actually the most dumbest thing you can ever do. You know,
it will touch the party unit.
Yes, it will.
This aspect, it will come in there.
There is another thing I have picked up in terms of sharing information or sharing of power. When human beings are exposed and their mind is stretched, right? And a stretched mind can't go back to its original form.
Okay.
Right? Because it's exposed to different ideologies, different cultures. Therefore, when you are exposed and when you have a stretched mind, how you respond because of the thought process helps you to understand what there is no need to hold on to information and power. Most people have come, I'm not saying a majority but most people have come across with, I've engaged with, who are independent thinkers, exposed and understand themselves.
Yeah.
And they understand their role and their position. They share power and information easily than people who are not exposed, than people who are not independent thinkers. Now, when people who know what they know and that's all, they want to hold on to that because they know nothing else. It's like a typical example. Our politicians, our own leadership, they are not exposed.
Look, to simplify your argument, you have people who are very shallow.
Okay.
Shallow.
What do you mean?
Shallow meaning they are limited.
Okay.
They've got limited knowledge in various aspects of life. So they respond and respond from a mentality of lack instead of abundance. So when you have a worm's eye view to anything,
it's a problem.
So some people just have a gift, or they have been exposed enough, like you are saying, that they've got a bird's eye view
on things.
So those people are not intimidated easily.
Yes.
Or at all.
So the problem here is intimidation.
People get intimidated, and for various reasons. But we come back to our point, to the stem, is that you were arguing, Uti, you can make peace and try. So like
you try modesty.
Literally, you are sucking up.
Yeah, you try modesty so that you have records.
It might work, but
it might not.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is that modesty at first gives you an advantage position to whatever decision you want to take after that, because you have now a reference point. But I
made an attempt.
I was calm and I did the best I could. Yeah. And you rejected me, and therefore you can't now.
In an ideal world, yes. Ideally, that should be the case, So for the management of the time issue, I'm not sure this is what I've got. Still one aspect that I want to touch on.
Touch on it.
What are the opportunities lost due to underrepresentation?
Fish, my brother.
There are opportunities that we are losing, right? There's economic aspect, which is that comes through being a supplier, maybe, for an example.
Yeah.
Right. So if you have less representation of blacks in that space of body corporate, so it means you won't have estate management that black-owned companies there. You won't have suppliers under general maintenance and other supporting functions that are black-owned companies there. So meaning, typically, as we know, there's cultural and governance bias that will happen for every particular race. In this case, we're talking about white folks.
Yes.
So if there's 6 of us as white folks, West Afrikaners, right? We'll get a gardener company that is Afrikaner, electrical fence, security, right? If there's paving that needs to be done now and then, if there's waterproofing, painting of butlers and general common areas. West, you can imagine, let me give you a scale. For a complex that has minimum 40 units, maximum 400 units, right? 400 units, you're talking of monthly expenses of well over half a meter.
Monthly expenses.
Yeah. Monthly maintenance, security.
Yeah.
You can talk half a meter plus. So you multiply that by 12. Right? So let's say it's 6 meter for 400 plus in those big complexes. Ne? Let's say 3 meter. So that's gonna be too much. Let's say 3 meter. 3 million can sustain many companies. But if I'm a 3 million, I'm a complexes, I more than 100 or 200 in one province one. One metro,
yeah.
Right? In one, let's say Kuruleni. Tshwane. Let's say Tshwane, the whole of Tshwane. You count how many sectional title schemes are there, right? Let's say averagely each sectional title spends a million a year, and then count them and say, look at the budget there. That budget is a lot, right? And then say it has absorbed 90% plus of what owned companies. So already, by not participating, and for us by having a short-sighted mind, we are letting go of a lot.
Yeah, when you break it down like that, then it hits hard.
It hits home.
It hits home.
Yeah, there's a lot that we are foregoing there.
It hits home.
Transformation will never come from, like you said, made by government. These spaces also allow us to at least squeeze in a little bit of degree of transformation. Fairness, equity, distribution of and mind you, the sad part is that in one complex of that 200 plus household, you'll find in the 200 household, maybe only 30 are non-blacks. Majority are blacks. So meaning the money that goes into these suppliers, it comes from
black people, because they have to pay monthly levies.
Yeah. I'm not saying business should not go where merit suggest otherwise, right? But we have a responsibility.
Look, in some instances, when you're hungry in house, you go and knock where you know there's food. Firstly, you're gonna be nice. I'm hungry, can I have some food? Yeah. They reject you, and then second time you try and be nicer, and then third time you're like, no, I'm hungry, yeah. And I know there's food in there. They still reject you. Fourth time, yes, I'm referencing to that. Yeah. So I'm thinking that this space needs that kind of mentality.
Look, if we were to revolutionize that space, right, it will mean we need to know governance to the core. By anything that we need to get from today, from this day forth, anything that we want, we need to master the legal way of getting it. Which is going to be tackled. I'm not sure which destination number it is in our next upcoming episode. It's about we are asking if protests, strikes
is it effective?
Yeah, it's still effective in this day and age. We're going to look out for that. We're going to tackle that at some point, and we want to discuss these legal.
I know it's there on.
Yeah.
I want to check which.
9. Service delivery 9.
Oh, since the TM009
as service delivery
protests have lost impact in South Africa. Okay.
Yeah. We're going to touch into that and explore. But coming back is that apart from the governance, the cultural bias, as I've said, it's the dominance of this thing. There's unequal distribution of economic opportunities. We spoke about that. Then it pushes away or becomes a barrier for black-owned companies to enter as estate management agencies, right? It pushes them back. Let me just give you a quick one. Sectional title schemes mostly are white-owned. Let me list top 5. Trafalgar, Angle, Preto, Residential, and Intersect, right? Example, Trafalgar has about 85,000 residential units. 85,000.
They own those.
They are administrators. They are an agent over.
That's not fair.
Enga has 60,000 schemes, valued at 70 billion. They are managing a portfolio worth 70 billion. Do you know what 70 billion?
Yo.
Ipreto, 480 complexes, 35,000 homes, right? Residential about 9,000 across 210 sectional title schemes.
And the majority of those homeowners or the residents, the occupants of those properties are black people.
Yeah. How do you like that?
So
we have a responsibility. I mean, that's the reason why we thought this topic must be discussed. We have a responsibility. So now what tendency is, the sweet and short of it is that whites are aware of the gaps that we have identified. And it works to their advantage. Because while we fight to queue or we queue to see ourselves being in the government, right, to service the government, and whites are not really, not unless they are fronting, they are not prioritized to get government jobs. They then move into the private space. Some of the space that they are moving in is the very same space that...
And I think there is a lot we can learn from them in terms of influential migration. They know how to migrate, and they know how to influence the space they migrate into, and then they stay consistent.
Yeah.
They just manage that very well and stay dominant in that. There's a lot we can learn.
Yeah, look, you are right. Here's what I would say, a personal story, a quick one.
Yeah.
Right? I hate sharing personal stories because it's not about personal stories, but it's relevant. I've got a neighbor, I'm not going to mention his name, he's white, right? We've got a chairperson who's a white person, right?
Yeah.
So this white
in the same complex.
So the two of them, they don't get along. So this one lobbies, he has taught me a lot on how to lobby. We are lobby here in army, even getting the proxy, because we tend not to attend the meetings. This was a game, proxy, so that niggas voter, yes, they understand. I also learned that game from him. So we are lobby with Norman. Undama, he's not responsive enough. So we got into some situation, we went into reading this sectional title scheme acts, we went into these things. He wanted security to be upgraded. They had other options or other things to worry about this group. So law and lobby, which is pushing towards the security. And okay, reasonably my man, no, he's coming with a reasonable argument. So we went into this argument trying to fight it with no sense and nani. But into being shy or be shy, because I was part of it, it's the historic issues about maybe criminal activities that happen in the complex. They don't necessarily justify our angle. So it becomes a nice to have more than...
Yeah, it's not a need.
Yeah, it's a want.
It's a want.
Yeah. So then this one gets frustrated. He knows he's winning. Then let's remove these people. So my mind was very sober. Let's see. I don't approve of this guy. Same here.
Yeah,
but
this is your piece.
Are you going to wake up every morning and look after the gate? I am sure he's affiliated with the suppliers. I don't have proof. It's my perception, right? Based on what I know. So let's see. But this guy does the job. I'm coming back to your point. 10 out of 10 consistently. The very same guy.
Yeah.
Mamela, we don't have a problem that lasts us 24 hours. Ever since.
Mamela.
He engages councillors. Plus Malay is your DA councillors.
Yeah.
He engages them. We'll get the communication. We'll get things reported. We'll get the reference numbers. Immediately, electricity goes now. Now we get responses immediately. This guy's responsive levels are very high. So I'm not going to fall into a trap of trying and exhaust my energy and trying to get rid of this one. And then you're not going to go in there. No matter you won't be able to do what this guy is doing. I know you. But I'm coming back. My point that I was trying to make is these guys, when they enter into a space, whether they are doing it legit or but when they get into the space,
they make sure they deliver.
They deliver. There's one thing I respect about white people.
Service deliver.
They can steal. Don't make no mistake, they can steal. But as they are putting their hands into the cookie jar, delivery is not compromised.
It's not compromised. Yeah,
in any space.
There is an understanding. They understand Uguti. It's important to do right without being told or monitored.
Yeah.
That's a basic. You don't need a degree for that one. To do
engagement, consultation levels are the reporting. Yes.
They've made it a habit.
One would ask, you are suggesting these things. Have you tried them? I've been a trustee, and I've resigned from a trustee.
Yeah.
I had other battles to fight, and I had to choose one. I chose that other one battle. I already chose this one.
I want to make
because
peace,
now they do garden proper. Everything that
and there's no issues you're cool.
Yeah, I went to do there. There are situations, there are minor issues. What I cleaned up is how you do minutes. So how to the layout of minutes and in depth and the one drive. Let's put everything into one folder that give our homeowners access. They were doing some things in old-fashioned, but what is needed is delivered. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line.
And they're on time.
On time. And with the desired, they meet the expectations and go beyond. So the only thing maybe that we would then have to worry about as we make up our minds to enter into the space, especially the space among Board of Trustees, is that when you go into the space, you must be prepared to deliver. Don't go in there at all if you're not going to do justice. We understand? So that's basically, without even going to too technical issues, we know that you go into the space, there's legalities. You need to be good at legal aspect. You must be good at stakeholder management, meaning you need to manage the agent, your fellow trustees, communication, be able to articulate your point, persuasive, deal with homeowners, communication, which is writing to them, email, right? Our suppliers to select, that's procurement, by the way.
Yes.
Competitive bidding aspect, you need to be sharp with that and have less of your friends coming to do work in your complex. And even if it's black, but they are reputable, competitive people that will come in, value for money issues. So if you go in there, you need to know how to address Umaspala. So you need to be friends with councillors and have connections with them and network with them so that when you have a problem, they are quick to respond to your issues. When there's cable theft and whatnot, you are able to do this thing. So it's not a space and think it's a walk in a park. It's demanding. So I'm saying if we have to make up our minds and say let's really start to take these issues or the space serious and participate into them, we must be ready.
Look, there is I think the major problem with me is the racial disparities, which means unfairness. they deliberately and intentionally keep that space to themselves, and because they understand the capital involved in that space. So
economic benefits.
Yeah, economical benefits. So this is not a mistake that black people are not in the space.
Yeah, the argument is it by design or by default? It's both.
It's both.
There are the ones that there are those that happen by design. What I hasn't. We're not going to allow these guys to come in. Guys meaning us to come into these things because now they want to disrupt our cookie jar. You understand? And
they're so good in doing this.
Apart from the cookie jar, they're going to disrupt our order because they believe they are more orderly than us. Then they could argue, and one could argue in their favor. They are more organized.
Yeah, look, when you
administratively speaking.
Yeah, when you look at the racial unfairness, ne, they have to be in that position.
Let
me make a good example. Yeah. When Mariki and Steve have a home and they have a helper who is Usisnomsa, right? Odipu, right? So Mariki, her role is specifically to groom this child and give this child information and go to school and
invest
and I don't have problems of looking after the child when she comes back from work tired. Mm-hmm. That responsibility is delegated to Usisnoms. Upit ngapha naye une advantage yokuthi he is in a space of making sure that as a white person he progresses, he has access to finance, he has access to information, he has access to so many other things.
A well-maintained credit score.
A well-maintained credit score that automatically puts you in a position of being initiative.
And
advantageous. And then we are Bab Kumalo ngapha. Bab Kumalo is a construction, who is in construction, or let's say maybe Bab Kumalo is a bank manager.
Yeah. Even better.
We understand. Even Bab Kumalo as a bank manager, but when he gets home, the challenges that he is facing are not similar to the challenges that Pete is facing.
By and large.
So they are they are ahead of us in administrative and getting organized because they have to be there.
Yeah.
They had all the resources and
they got the right tools.
They had the right tools in fact. So
right mentality.
For us to speed up that transformation, it's through unity. We don't have to love each other. We just need comprehension of the right thing to do this time in order. I'll give you an example. Indians, when they copied the spiderweb technology, right, they understood how many sacrifices they had to make in order to catch up. That's why they lived 5 families in one house.
I am tempted to expand, but I know it's a destination we must visit.
Okay.
So I will.
Yeah, let me not go even deep. Let me not go even deep.
Explain myself.
Yeah, but my
I get you.
But my point is that
there's a lot.
No, not a lot necessarily, House.
But I'm saying there's a lot to support your end.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm trying to emphasize is that we need to identify the sacrifices that we need to make.
Generational.
Yeah.
In this generation.
In this generation, yeah.
Which sacrifices?
What generational sacrifices must we make? And we do research.
That's why I'm saying that what you are tackling, it's that key destination because now you are solving those problems. So let's reserve
the best for last. Yeah, but this space of body corporates needs an aggressive intervention.
Yeah,
from individuals.
It's for this reason we are talking about it. Out of everything that we can talk about, we felt there's a gap, and we need to close this gap, and we need to be vocal about it, and we are being advocates of it.
Yeah, we can't have economical power transformation must be in line with the involvement of black people in the space of property management as a whole. I think the growth in the black economical power and transformation is not in line with the involvement in the property space, and there's a lot of money in the property space.
Yeah.
So we can't.
Just bear an example: a 7 billion value in one, managed by one.
But exactly.
Yeah, one.
It doesn't make sense. So we need to balance the growth.
70 billion. What did I say?
70 billion rands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, rands. Yes.
So you can't have growth of black people with having access to finance, getting education, getting to be the biggest contributor on the middle class, which is bringing growth to our GDP.
And basic middle class have the economy on their
back.
Yeah.
So why are we focusing on the growth one-sided and not focusing on the growth of black people being involved in the commodity that will generate generational wealth?
And bring in
because property is generational wealth.
Yeah. So we have been excluded, and we have in contrary excluded ourselves, and with the reasons that we've stated.
Some
reasons are valid that are historic in nature.
And there is an element that needs to happen. I think we have blamed the leadership. We've blamed them enough. It's about time we do things differently. So instead of playing the blame game, let's engage into initiatives that will assist us to get solutions. How about that?
Just write it down. What is and how can we drive black agenda? What is black agenda and what would it look like? And we can paint what the black agenda, that's what we are saying. Black agenda.
What it is and how can we...
This episode was a nice one. We just came up with three destination. That's quite interesting. So because of time, we need to go to e-desktop.
Yes.
Our desktop today is just to go through the what you call these things.
The dominance of...
No. I tried to look for cases that deals with racial aspects. They weren't cases, but I looked into cases that seek to remove our trustees because of differences, and what would be those differences look like.
Okay.
So that's our that's basically our desktop for today. Okay. There we go. So a quick one. The cases where homeowners association or bodies corporate attempt to remove trustees. I just looked at those cases. There's a TT versus DTO and others, which is Olive Trustee, Trust, Olive Tree Trust, June 2023. It was a Gauteng High Court case. Yes. It was held there, and the key issue was that the applicant sought removal of the trustee and appointment of new trustees, arguing that the sole remaining trustee lacked authority under the trust deed. This is misalignment I'm saying now. This is the trustee for the trust fund staff more than the trustee of the body corporate. I'm not sure how I missed that one, but let's go to the next one. My bad, I'll do better next time. Tapage and trustee for the time being of SA Body Corporate, this is relevant, and others, October 2023, the court, still High Court Pretoria. Key issue, though not a removal dispute, it's not a removal dispute, but the case touches on owner objection to trustee decision, specifically refusal to issue a levy clearance certificate and dispute over unilateral trustee conduct in withholding a certificate, right? These are the other cases that you would find there. So you can start imagining what homeowners fighting with trustee for this thing. Already, when I say withholding certificates, which is levy clearance certificate, already to many is like, what the hell is that? So it's just a demonstration. This is a highly contestation area in terms of legal aspects. And then there's Retief Swart and others versus North Cliff Ridge Home Ownership Association and others, March 2023, Gauteng Division. Key issue: Homeowners Association attempt to enforce rules and without a levy clearance certificate. Levy clearance certificate is an issue. Trustees attempting to ratify previous contested actions. While not trustee removal per se, the dispute reveals conflict over trustee authority and attempts of correction, right? Trustee position was that they sought retrospective ratification for decisions made beyond clear authority. Outcome is that the court scrutinized rule validity, trustee conduct, and whether ratification could legitimize prior contested acts, right? So in actual fact, there are scenarios. Let me just list them. There's a trustee preferring white-owned, preferring white-owned than like suppliers. But the research told me that there are not direct cases to that, which is racial conflict-related issues. But is that if anything, you can then prove a point, and Ombud services could address these issues. They are there for that. What if you can prove what your board of trustees historically they've been giving preference to only companies that are white owned more than blacks, and you can bring evidence to that effect, they can look into this and overrule certain contracts and overturn them, right? It's another marathon that needs a really good muscle, legal muscle.
That's food for thought.
Yeah. Discrimination trust clauses. Yes. Discrimination clauses in rules, some are trustees that are discriminatory. Yes. Court removed racial exclusive clauses. So there were cases and courts managed to remove those exclusive clauses. Maybe in most cases was slaughtering, I can imagine.
You know, I'm thinking of something.
Slaughtering a cow. doing no traditional issues
in that space. Yeah, no, it will be a challenge.
Yeah,
but okay, I think I'm losing my chain of thought.
Let me go on.
Anyway, go on. Yeah.
Trustee favoritism amongst beneficiaries. Yes. Hotel addressed unequal treatment by trustees. So there were cases. Yes, those cases were found. General affirmative action disputes. Yes, there were cases. One of it is Van Heerden. Affirmative constitutionality of redress measures. So despite the fact that there were no specific cases, the interest that I had was that is there a battle here racial that is evident and cases that were addressed through racial. So if that also proves that there's underrepresentation. So we haven't had battles that are flooding space from us black folks to really contest certain things that we think they are not fair.
You know, okay.
So there is a gap.
There's a huge gap. I just remembered what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
The media space is owned by whites in majority, right? So they will tell us or give us information that works in their favor.
Or that information that will not put them into a
exactly.
Yeah.
So the reason the private sector imbalances are not as spread as the corruption and everything that is happening, everything that is wrong about black people and their management and their way of thinking, is because we are fed. Okay, basically you cannot expect your oppressor to come with solutions that will benefit you as the one who was oppressed.
Yeah, it's a fair observation.
So now that we have come to take home, I'm actually addressing the take home as
announcing it. Yeah, let's go there. What's your take home?
My take home is that
these people, I'm just summarizing what you've just said now.
Yeah.
They are aware of what is happening. As such, they are doing everything in their power to retain their position. And by so doing, you won't find even media trying to prove them otherwise. But in their favor.
They own the media. Yeah.
They don't even discuss much of their dirty laundry.
No, their dirty laundry is not so
exposed. Like in the public sectors.
Yeah, no, it's not exposed. It's not exposed.
The reason why I refrain from talking about corruption in general is I get emotional. I would rather not talk about it.
Let's not.
I enjoy other topics. I'm not ready to talk about it.
No problem.
So
but what's your take home?
Yeah,
from this,
my take home
awareness and participation in body corporates?
Yeah, we need to revolutionize. Yeah. This place must be. We need revolution in this space. So I'm not sure how that revolution will look like, but we are planting a seed. So these spaces, we need to find a smart way. We don't have to, by minority, we need to revolt. I'm not saying we need to fight with whites and try to prove a point at them. There are many tactics amongst
you can
others.
revolt with research.
Yeah, what's that favorite means of protest from Gandhi that you like?
How can I?
We're not gonna move on until we find this term. That's very important.
No, I have to find it. I have to find it. Please speak to them about your closure. I have to find this term. I know it. I wrote it somewhere.
Passive resistance.
Passive resistance. Thank you, my brother.
We're not going to move. The passive resistance is very key and is very dynamic. So we need methods. My take home is that we need methods and maneuvering that is not combative.
Yeah.
Right? And that is not aggressive. Right? But it's decisive, it's technical, it's clean, and it's progressive. And progressive methods of winning any battles, it's be informed.
Yeah.
Be highly informed about the space that you want to dominate and conquer. So you cannot go, as I always say, you cannot go and play and enter FIFA's competition without knowing the rules. We want to fail this man because we want to hold the ball in the middle of the game and it's a handball. And the rules holding the ball.
Mauza, what you're saying is very profound, because I mean, if you look at how apartheid was implemented, the money that was spent on research is showing by the consistency of
return on investment.
The return on investment on that.
Yeah.
It is still affecting us today.
Beyond imagination.
It's beyond imagination. So we need to do the same. We invest on research on how to recover from this, and we do it on an international spec, not just national or regional. No.
I'm activated. Activation means, look, I am going to retire into politics. Let me declare this now.
Yeah.
I'm going to politics, and I want to have a very strong impact. And I like managing things at the back seat. I'm a different seat.
Yeah.
Here's what I want. Here's why I'm saying this.
Yeah.
These battles, you need a gang. You must belong to a gang to win certain battles.
My man, when you speak of gangs, that's how.
You cannot.
Look, that's how Abu Lokuzana, who's this richest man in the world now? Elon.
Yeah.
Abu Elon. Nabo Lokuzana. Who's the owner of this? Who's the country the richest, second richest?
George Bezos.
Not George Bezos.
Not Mark.
No, not Mark Zuckerberg. take a lot.
Yeah.
You know that area, people who designed about Instagram and
They were moving as a
they were moving as a collective.
That's it.
And even our leadership, our politicians, our Julius and our Manula, they moved as a collective. Our Zuma, our Mandela,
every space that needs to be dominated,
you have to
belong to a gang. So I'm saying that's the intention, and if any innovative and transformation attitude here politic would be to bring about desks, right? When I say desks, I mean sessions that we are going to talk about body corporate, and nothing else. And we're going to create a desk that deals with that. And a desk that deals with that. So a political party, or my level of participation in a political party is not the traditional way in which people are moving with it.
Yeah, I think our political operation needs renovation.
Yeah, it needs
a resuscitation.
Yeah.
It must be resuscitated, Maman, before it dies. And we need to involve independent thinkers, younger generation, because
of course
you can't be 75 and want to make policies that won't exist when you are dead.
Yeah, by the time you are gone.
How do you make policies at 75 and make policies that will suit?
Look, Mike, just for the sake of time, my situation is that you can be futuristic and thinking. You can be 75 and make contributions that are way beyond your time as a visionary. Right?
You've got
but the problem is that these people that we have that
they are not like that.
No, they've made the age to become an enemy. Age is not an enemy, guys.
No, age is not an enemy.
It's conduct and behavior that is a problem. Put age aside. Stop being ageism affected. Abantu in general, the behavior, from where they come from how they are wired, from their traumas, from their aspiration and greediness, they tend to behave in a particular way, whether ideal or opposite
or not.
But see, because of the sake of issues which is my name is cut. Now we did the take home and we overstretched the take home. I guess this
we did. Nice. The topic was interesting. Yeah, man.
So that's why. So yeah, we can descend, I guess.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed the flight with us without any turbulence, no bed strikes, no thunderstorms, nothing, just proper cruise.
Yeah.
That's what we intend to do continuously, consistently, and intentionally so. So please sit upright, fasten your seatbelts, close the overhead storages as we are landing into this destination of independent thinking. Take care, and yeah, that's it from me.
Yeah, no. If we are deserving, I don't have to tell you. We don't have to beg for what is right to be done. Just do what is right to be done, as we always do, Stefana. Okay.